Oh, right. So I would like to introduce this app to you. I think this is quite useful. Right. So I prefer CamScanner. Okay, you can just go to Google Play or App Store and then you can download it. Right. After you download it and you open and you will see something like this. But if you're new to it, you have no documents, of course. Right. So I have some old documents. Also, how do you take the photos? You can just press this button. Okay, this button, right, and then you can take the photos, and then you you will see this, see this, okay, and then you can take the photos. After that, it is a very powerful app, so that you can just crop it, and then it will make you a very nice documents like this. Okay, after you crop it, you can just press higher bow or next step if you use English. All right, so after you crop it, you will see a very nicely scanned document. You actually do not need any more scanner because using your phone, you can do it very nicely. Right, and then you can just press 保存, okay, and you go to the next step. After you take 2 photos, 3 photos, 4 photos with a few pages, I wish that you can combine into one PDF document. I wish you can combine into one PDF document. Also, how do you combine it? You press this button. Sharing. Or if you use PDF, then if you use PDF usually, then you can see this button PDF as well. Okay, and then after you press this button, you will see a lot of options, and please choose this one, PDF. All right, and then you can just share to Google Classroom or share to somewhere you like, for example, in your computer or some Google Drive, Dropbox, or whatever. All right, so I think this will help me and also help you. You can only have one document for each assignment, right? And the logistics would be much better. Right, you understand? Also, this is the introduction about this app, and I wish you can do it because only less than half of the class use this option now, and this is actually quite important for me. Oh, all right. Anyone cannot follow? All right, so let's start. Also, in this lesson, I will talk about 8.2. Right, let's see. No. Okay. Brian asked some questions and the answer is no. Okay. Today I learned we learned 8.2.唔係，我見到佢突然間冇晒聲嗰啲，有啲驚添。你收唔收到？收到我講咩㗎？係嘛 ？OK。OK， 因為我諗突然之間冇晒聲，原來真係大家乖啫，唔嘈嘅。OK， 好啦。Okay, so in this lesson I will talk about 8.2. I think I would like to cover all the key points in very short time, and I will introduce a few games for you. The games have been posted in Google Classroom already, and I think some of you have a look already. And those games will be very useful for you to understand what's meant by transformation. Today I will talk about transformation. It means that from one picture or from one image, and then we try to move it, reflect it, enlarge it, reduce it, or rotate it. Right, then we will have another image that is called transformation. 轉變. Alright, so let's look at this diagram. I think this is a very nice diagram. Alright, so what's meant by transformation? There are actually some different types of transformation. For example, I have this very cute bear. Do you think so? Okay.
Nope.
So we can move it. It means translate it to the right, translate it downwards, translate it upwards, translate it to the left. Okay, so I can move it. I can also make it smaller, reduce it. I can also enlarge it, make it bigger. I can also rotate it. I can also reflect it. Okay, so how to reflect? I make use of this. I can also reflect it. Okay, and then the left and right will be opposite. Okay, I can reflect it. Yeah, like this. I can reflect up and down. I can reflect left or right. Right. So there are all the things that we are going to learn in this lesson, and there are not much math behind. You only need to imagine what the final image will be. I think the most difficult part would be 3, rotation. But for all the other parts are just related to presentation, and the things are quite easy for you, I believe. Also, first, let's spend around 5 minutes to go through all these 4. I want to talk about all the keywords, all the English terms that you need to know, and also how to use words to describe the transformation. Also, the first one we say is translation. Okay, so while I'm talking about it, I want you to force yourself to memorize all these terms， 逼自己背咗佢啦。Okay, translation 平移啊。Okay, the shape does not change, the direction does not change. I only move it to the right, move it to the left, and we say that this is translation. Okay, for example, I say A is translated to the left by 5 units. Okay, this is a way to describe a certain translation. Okay, for example, I have A here. Okay, so what's meant by moving to the right? Moving to the left. Wait. Okay, so it means that just move to the left by 5 units. Okay, and then for number 2, reflection. Reflection. The keyword is we must have the axis of reflection. Axis of reflection, because when we reflect, there must be a mirror. When we place the mirror in different locations, the final image will also be different. Right? For example, if you're closer to the mirror, you can see a bigger you. If you are farther from the mirror, you will see a smaller you. Also, you can see different image if the mirror is at different places. Also, you have to reflect something about the axis of reflection, 反射軸. Right, so how do we describe a certain transformation about it? Well, we say A is reflected about a dotted line to give A prime. Okay, so it means that when we reflect this to here, I never mind, maybe later I'll show you some interesting thing. Well, the third one is about rotation. Rotation, 旋轉. Okay, so there are some keywords that you need to know. They include clockwise, anti-clockwise, because you have to specify the directions of the rotation. 順時針、逆時針. I believe all of you should understand what this means. Okay, and then center of rotation. Okay, at different center of rotation, you should have different answer. You have different answer. Okay, so here I want to let you see this. Okay, for example, I want to rotate A. I want to rotate A about O. Okay, so what will you see? You will see some interesting thing. Okay, I try to make it. Oops. Wait. So hard to use. Okay, like this. Well, I try to make O as the center of rotation like this, and then you will see A rotating. Okay, so what do we say? Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Very good answer. Okay, clockwise. Okay, 順時針啦. I cannot explain to you what's meant by clockwise, but I suppose you know. Right, and if I change into different direction, then this is called anti-clockwise or anti-clockwise. All right, so this is called rotation. Also, if I change the center of rotation, then what will be different? Okay, let's try to stop at here. All right, I want to use other points of rotation. Then the things will be much different. Okay, if I change the center of rotation like that, the circle would be bigger. Okay, so it means that when we rotate something, we must specify the center of rotation, even though it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, or by how much degree, the center of rotation would matter. All right. So let's try to look at it again. All right, so when we describe a rotation, we have to say clearly about which point. About the point means the center of rotation. And then through how much degree, clockwise or anti-clockwise, to give the image. Okay, and finally, for enlargement or reduction, you have only one key word for you, which is scale factor, 比例因子. It means that if it is enlarged by how many times? Let's say enlarged by factor of 2, reduced by factor of 1/2, 1/4. 即係如果大嘅就大過1，如果細嘅就細過1。Okay, so this is called the scale factor. Okay, so all the lectures have been finished, and I want you to try. Oh, it's still rotating. Okay. Oh, how can I stop? Okay, never mind. Just let it
I know.
enjoy itself. Okay. So today I want to introduce these games for you, and I believe after playing, you will be very familiar with all these 4 transformations. Okay, so all the 4 links have been put in the Google Classroom, and I want all of you to try on your own. Okay, using iPad or using computer would be much, it would be greatest. All right, so the first one, we say that is the translation. All right, so once you are trying this, I think you can do it like what I do here. I put the cursor on the point, and then I can drag it like this. Okay, so when you try on your own, you can also do it like that. Okay, 拉住呢點向上移啊，拉住呢點向上移。Okay, and then I can press the button join. Okay, can you see the tick here? Join. After you put the join, tick the join, and then you can press check. Okay, if it is correct, then you will see a very big applause here. Clapping hands, you'll be very happy because yay, you got the correct answer. All right, so this is called a translation. All right, let's try one more example. All right, a translation of 1 unit to the right. All right, so I drag the point 1 unit to the right, and then the top point 1 unit to the right. I join it. I can get a new line. This is correct. Oh, I didn't see the questions clearly. Right, because followed by translation 1 unit down. Okay, it means that you have to go down here. Right, a translation of 6 units down. I try to drag all the pull points downwards by 6 units, and then check the answers. Okay, so you can try yourself. Okay, this is called translation. 平移，左右前後左右上下。Okay, upwards, downwards, right or left by how many units? Okay, the second one is about reflection. Well, reflection would be a little bit harder for you. Also, there must be a line of reflection or axis of reflection, we say. How do we obtain the image after the reflection? We can drag the point. But how to drag the point, you can look at here. Okay, I have to look at the perpendicular line drawn across the line of reflection. Okay, so it means that the point should be here. Do you agree? Oh, how can I draw something? Wait. Maybe I do it like this. Oh, wait a moment, sorry. Okay, so can you see the screen here? Oh, it's another question already. Okay, so I will move the points like this. Okay, so I want to show you how I know that this is the image after the reflection. We try to look at the distance between the point and the line, which is the perpendicular distance. 垂直嘅距離. Okay, so we copy the same distance and then we arrive at the new point here. Okay, like this, I can copy this distance to the other side. Hello, 聽唔聽到? Okay, that's great. Right, so after you join it, then you can check the answers, and I believe this is correct.
Okay.
This is called line of reflection. Let's try once more. Okay, so for line of reflection, which is not horizontal or vertical, it is actually much harder. Okay, so let me show you how to obtain this. Okay, don't think that the point is somewhere here. Is wrong because the line of reflection is not vertical line. The point is not here. Okay, so you can only draw the perpendicular line. It means that I try to look at distance here. Why this is the distance? Because the dotted line here is perpendicular to the line of reflection. 垂直嘅 perpendicular to that of line of reflection. Okay, so we copy the same length from this point to here. And then I can also have another perpendicular line. Right, I copy the same length. So I would say this is called the reflected image. Reflected image. All right, let's try one more. All right, so this one would be quite difficult. Okay, you can try on yourself later, but here I can only show you my way. All right, so I try to copy this length, perpendicular distance to the other side. Okay, so it means that I go here. I hope it's correct. Right, and then this point, I copy it to here. And then I join it. Do you think it's correct?
Yes.
Okay, I hope so. I hope so because sometimes it's hard to count. Oh, but this is the way that how we do the reflection problems. Okay, so let's try another one. Another one is the rotation. I think this is the hardest part, so I want to show you clearly in detail. Okay, so about rotation, there would be I wish that you can try the first few using hint here, because after you click hint, you can understand the things better. Right after you click hint, or because after you press hint, you will see the dotted line. So what's meant by rotation? It's not easy to picture how this line is rotated about the cross. The red cross is not easy. So how? You can only imagine that the dotted line, and then I drag the points. Okay, so by how much? Rotation of 270 degrees anti-clockwise direction means go to the anti-clockwise direction by 270 degrees, like this. All right, but where should I stop? Where should I stop? All right, actually, you can imagine that this is the same as clockwise how much degree? Oh, let me ask Wilson, can you answer me? Okay, Wilson, how much degree is it? Okay, if I go to a clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise 270 degrees, the same as clockwise.
90.
Yeah, very good. Okay, anti-clockwise 270 is the same as clockwise 90 degree. All right, so I can just drag this point clockwise to here. All right, but where should I stop? Okay, it's clockwise now. All right, so I should stop at where I have a right angle. All right, but the same length should persist. The same length should be the same, right? All right, so you can see that this point after dragging is still 1/2. It is still 1/2, all right? Okay, so this is the image of the first point. And then we look at the second point. I drag this point. Where should I stop? I stop at here because now I have another right angle. I have another right angle. Can you see that? Also, after I join these 2 points, and this is the rotated image. Yeah, I correct. Yes, that's right. All right, so this is how
Congratulations.
do this. Oh, thank you very much for your compliment. Actually, it's quite hard. You can try. It's really quite hard. Let's try to do one more questions like this. All right, so I rotation of 270 degree in an anti-clockwise direction. So it means that it is clockwise by 90 degree, okay? Clockwise by 90 degree. All right, so when I drag this point to here, you should expect to see a right angle here. And then originally it is 3/1. So here you also would have 3/1. 3/1. Okay, similarly, I drag another point, which is 4/3. The answer would be 3/4. 3/4. And then you get another point here with a right angle. The right angle. So do you think this is correct answers? Of course. Yeah. So you can try to do about 10 questions, and I believe you will be more familiar with rotation about a certain point. But note that for different center of rotation, the answer will be different. Right? Don't think that is very easy. When you try, I believe you'll find some wrong answers. Okay? You can do more and more in order to get familiar with that. So this is the third game I want you to try. And then the last one is about enlargement and reduction. Enlargement and reduction.
Anthony.
Okay, so how do we play this game? Also for enlargement and reduction, I want you to know the facts that all the lengths, okay, all 每一條, I should have the same scale factor. Okay, so what's meant by drag C prime and D prime? 嗱，呢一點咧個英文讀音咧叫 prime 啦 ，C prime and D prime. It is about the image. 即係新嗰一點嚟嘅 C prime. Okay, so that A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime is similar to A, B, C, D. Okay, so how do we know that they are similar? If all the lengths 每一條 have the same scale factor. Okay, so here you can see A prime, B prime is fixed. I cannot change it. So you can calculate what is the scale factor. 好，有冇人識計 scale factor？
有。
好，點樣計？由3變6嘅 scale factor 係
2.
Scale factor 2 啊。
Yeah, it is 2. Great. Okay, scale factor is 6 divided by 3 because it is enlarged by 2 times. The scale factor is 2. Okay, so when I drag point prime D, I should have
8.
Yeah, that's great. 4 to 8. Then this is similar. And then I drag C prime. I should have originally 1 to 3, and then now would be 2 to 6. 1/3 and then 2/6. Okay, so C is here. So how do you check the answers? You can check it yourself. You can drag this point B and then make it the same size, and you see whether they can. Oh, I got a wrong answer because I count it wrongly because D prime this is not 8, this is 9 units. 我老啊，腦殘眼殘睇錯。Okay, but I think you can do it well, okay, because you are young. You can count 8 units easily, but I cannot. Okay,
Yes,
We are
I can.
young. Teacher Eric looks young.
Only looks, but the real
Oh, yes. Looks,
he is not. Also, I think you can understand what I mean, but I do it wrong, but you can try to do it yourself, do it correct. All right, so this is all the things. You can try all the 4, and let's summarize it. All right, today I've talked about 4 types of transformation only. 4 types of transformation. Okay, wait a moment. Okay, let me close it first. How to close it? Okay, stop share. Okay, so today we have learned 4 types of transformation. And which 4 types can you tell me? Okay, which 4 types?
0 times. Sorry.
Oh. Okay, which 4 types there? Okay, let's try again. Okay, we talk about translation, reflection, rotation, enlargement, reduction of the same type. Also, let's quickly go through some of the example and see how should we present our answers, because you do your assignment 5, week 5 assignment, and I hope that you can present that well. Okay, so in part A, example 2, draw the image formed by translating ABC to the right by 7 units and then upwards by 1 unit. All right, so how do we do that? We do it by point to point. To the right by 7, upwards by 1. Okay, it means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then upward by 1. I can know that A is here. Here I use A double prime 2點, right? Because A prime has been used already. Also, I use the symbol A double prime. Okay, and then for B, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7啦。我點路咧都睇到㗎，因為我逐點數嘅。Right, so B double prime would be here.
Okay.
Okay, 逐點數啊。C 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up by 1 unit. C double prime here. So I join it. All right, so this is part A. I've done it. You use pencil. You use ruler. I don't have ruler. Okay, and then for part B, describe how it is translated to A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, it means that from this diagram to the new diagram here. So how do we use word to describe it? The keyword would be translate, of course, and then ABC. So you should describe to the right, to the left, to the up, or to downwards. Also to the left. So from this diagram to the new diagram, A prime, B prime, C prime. Also, we write to the left by how much? You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can write by 5 units. And downwards, 學下呢啲字眼啦 ，left right downwards 啲英文字唔可以唔識啦。Okay, and then downwards by 1, 2 units. 你要用個 by 字嘅 by 2 units. Okay, so this is called word description.
Okay.
Okay, so this is very easy example. I hope you can follow. Right. So for the classwork, you just try to do follow up 2 to 9. Follow up 2 to 9. Okay, and then part B, reflection. Let's try to do one easy example. Draw the image. You use ruler to draw it. Okay, easy, like this, and you'll get full marks. Okay, draw this and you get full marks. Okay, so when you do reflection, remember you count the distance between a certain point and the dotted line, and then distance between this point to the dotted line, and then I can copy the length here, like this.
That's a Lego.
Like this. Okay, after you do all of them, you join all the lines and you get full marks. 嗱，應該就唔係好難嘅，所以我唔想講太耐啦，即係就畫完咁就算㗎啦。Okay, so follow 3 you can do it yourself. Okay, and follow up 4, draw the axis of reflection. It means that you have to draw the line. Okay, so for drawing a line, you should draw a dotted line like this。OK， 中間斬開佢，咁就係嗰塊鏡啊，嗰塊鏡 axis of reflection。OK， so it asks you to describe another possible single transformation. OK, apart from reflection, what kind of transformation can you tell about from from A to B? From A to B.
Go right for 2 units.
Okay, exactly, very good. Right, but not 2
Like,
units.
Not
Not 2 units.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, my math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so how do we count? We look at the same point, the corresponding points. 嗱，你唔可以用最右點同最左點嚟比較嘅，唔係嘅，係用最左點同最左點嚟比較啦，或者最右點同最右點嚟比較啦。Okay, so the corresponding points 對應。Also we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 5. Alright, so translate to the right by 5 units, and then that's fine. You can get full marks by this. Understand?
Okay.
Alright, so let's look at the next example. Rotation. This is the hardest part, I believe. Alright, so for rotation, you have to look at what is the angle of rotation, of course. Right? By through 180 degree, I have to show you how to do that. If it is close to the center of rotation, it doesn't change. Alright, but for this point, we should look at each point separately. Let's say this is point A, and then after you rotate it like this by 180 degree, A should appear at the bottom of the figure. All right, it means A would be here. Okay, and then for the second point, well, by 180 degree, you're just like it up to here. Right, you like drawing a straight line, and then if it is already 2 by 3, then the new image is also 2 by 3. You know what's meant by 2 by 3? This is 2, this is 3, 2 by 3. Right? So you draw the new image of the other points, join it, and you obtain the answer. For part B, it's also quite hard. It's also quite hard. Anti-clockwise through 90 degree. It means you go to this direction by 90 degree. So what we need to do is look at each point separately. Let's say we look at this point, then I look at the dotted line, 90 degree. Okay, so the first point, I use the blue color to represent it. It will be A prime here. Okay, and then for the second point, this point, look at the dotted line, B would be somewhere here. B would be somewhere here. Okay, and the last one, C, going to here, going to here, C prime. Okay, so finally, we join all these 3 points, A prime, C prime, B prime, and you obtain the answer. Like if you don't do it point by point, unless you are very talented, super elite, otherwise I think it's quite hard for you. So I would suggest you to do it point by point.
Yes, I'm very talented.
Of course you are, okay, but I am not as smart as you, so I do it point by point. Also, after you do point by point, then you can join all the things and you get the answers. All right, so try to do it on your own, okay, and I already explained to you how to do that. All right, example 6, I'm not going to talk about it. All right, you use words to describe it. You can read the books yourself.
1 minute.
Okay, and then finally, enlargement and reduction. All right, for this type of question, you only need to draw the images and also calculate the scale factor. 如果大咗嘅就大過1啦 ，scale factor； 細咗嘅就細過1啦 ，scale factor。咁冇乜特別㗎啦。咁so you try to draw the figures. I think I almost ended this session, and I will start a new session because it will end me. I will immediately start a new session. But only talk about the last type, which is called enlargement and reduction, and will end very soon. Okay, don't worry. All right. So for enlargement, what you need to draw is the new figure. New figure. Okay, let's look at example 7. Okay. So you are